Hello guys, good afternoon. It's Nikki, also known as Faces Trader, and you're watching December 16, 2020, the Philippine market update. Let's begin. All right, so today the market is up 71 points, trading at 7,299. We're trading at the highest at 7,300. And you could see that the market still continues to go higher with a lot of names going up, especially example, your PLC is now trading at 47 cents or up 5%. We actually opined that these remains one of the few companies in the casino sector that is actually still undervalued, even if you compare it relative to Macau, to US gaming, etc. But before we proceed with that, let's take a look at your index movers. Your Philippine Stock Index is up, all shares are up, financials up, industrials up, holdings are up, properties, mining, services are down a bit, and mining is up. So you could see that market value right now is 8.34 billion. It's slightly lower than our current 9 billion, but it's still the prior averages of about 9 billion pesos. But this is significantly higher versus the 3 to 4 billion pesos that we were experiencing before. So foreign net selling is negative 500 million. You could see that local are actually investing in the market despite the index at 7,300. Gainers, Megawide, URC. So let's read all of these on the price side, not about the percentages, so that you could see better whether it's up or down. Your SM is 1,075, still teetering at that 1-1 area. So you could see that SM and SM Prime, 38.8, didn't go higher, but didn't go lower. It's just always staying there at the resistance area, similar to your PSEI, which is staying stock about 71, 72, 73. Your URC is trading up 158.5, Ayala Land 41.7. You could see the discrepancy between SM Prime and Ayala Land is already a far 3 peso area, 3 peso difference. Either it's either it's SM Prime that has to catch up, or either Ayala Land has extended too far off that it could probably go back to 40, whichever the market truly believes in. JG Summit is trading at 70 peso 50 cents, Ayala Corp 850. ICT 123, BDO 115, MPI 4.4, Megaworld 4.1, GT Cap 645, AGI nearing 11, Luciatan Group 14, Pure Gold 41.55, Aboitiz Power 27.7, Robinson's Retail 67, Metro Bank 50, Emperador 1002, RLC 21.7, DMC 602, Bloomberry 8.7, BPI 83, First Gen 27.8, San Miguel Corp 137, Meralco 285, Jollibee 206, Globe 2000, Security Bank 143.7, AEV 46.2, Telephone 1330. Wait up, guys. So let me just mute this for a while. I have to answer some. Sorry for that intermission break. But as you could see, so the current market is showing to you what opportunities in the index. Let's say just strictly on this 30 names. From a risk-reward perspective, the opportunities here are actually the stable names. Your Globe at 2,000, your PLDT at 1330, your BPI is still at 83 bucks, but it's not as big of an upside, isn't it? Like you're probably just gonna make about 10% or 5%. Your Meralco at 285. So if you are taking a look at the current index levels, only I'd say your stable names have a bit of an upside of about 5 to 10%. Meanwhile, all of your reopening themes have already gone up, which means that the upside on your reopening themes are very small already, even if we actually have a successful reopening come 5 months or 6 months from now. All right, so let's take a look at the stats as well. Yesterday, we noticed that a lot of pennies, cats, and dogs flying up. So let's take a look today. You could see that those penny stocks continue to rise. Your PHA is trading at 1.17, 20% up. So you could see that from 20 cents, indeed, PHA has rallied to about 600% this year. But these things are actually things that you can only take advantage of if you've already got a low cost. So here kasi, we don't really believe in buying late and getting that lucky move. People might say, oh, even if I bought at 60 cents, I'd have made 100%. What you should be aware of is that these are all in hindsight. Buying low is the right move. Buying late, even if you are rewarded, is sometimes going to be beneficial for you. But most of the time, buying late is actually buying extensions after extensions will actually be very difficult to really ascertain. So this is good to see that PHA rose about 1.2. You could see that the winners continue to win in the Philippine market. After this one, where is the rotation move? 137, can it continue to 137? Or will it drop 97 cents? So at these levels, it's actually mostly just a hold. People who have it very low are just holding on to their shares, not really a buying signal. It's more of just a continue hold. Let's see. So PHA is up. Your BSC 100 million at about 435. We have been seeing those names actually rise in a couple of last few days. But take note that these are just last spurts. Usually, these last moves are typical of when the market is nearing resistances. So yes, 14 cents to 38 cents, 39 cents year to date, very strong. But these are not buying areas. These are just hold areas, or actually probably even a happy take profit level if you're already happy to take profit at that level. Assuming you got in at 20 cents or 40 cents, whether it goes to 60 or 80 cents, it is none of your business. It's only the business of the people who have their shares low. All right, so what else are up today? Your Double Dragon has finally risen from about 15 to 16.3. So we were opining for quite a while now that DMW and DD were actually one of those few names that had a bargain entry with a good risk reward. It took a while, but finally it went up. So you could see that Double Dragon has done nothing in the last couple of months, and people were saying that what else can there be a buying opportunity? We argued that Double Dragon and DMW after Ayala Land and SM Prime has risen, don't give upside, meaning Ayala Land, yeah, 40, 41, what's that, 2%. Versus if you put that money into a Double Dragon and DMW, you have a better upside. So at about 1480, it's now trading at 16.3. Can it go to 18 or 20? Well, momentum is on the bull side. Take note what happened, the same thing. BMW at that level was about 6. It's now trading at 7.8. Can it go to 9 or 10? At that point, you actually just hold your winners, whether it goes to 9, 10, 11, you let the market dictate. What's important is you got a good entry, good risk reward, and let the market see if it's going to go 9, 10, 11, and 12. That's the point of buying low, good risk reward ratios, and actually just letting your winners win. Let's take a look more at your stats. All right, so your Double Dragon is awake. Your All HC continued further. After consolidating, right? Extension after extension, your All HC is now trading at 3.5. Similarly, this is good to see that your PLC continued rallying after that 40-cent area has been seen as a support. Right now, it's trading at 47, close to about 50 cents. You want to wait it out. Your Frutas is also doing well. Initially, that 168 IPO price was actually a resistance. Looks like the market wants to continue it further. Market continues these third liners and even your vols. So in fact, these penny stock names, your 1 peso names, your 50-cent names are getting a lot of I'd say that the thematic of the market went from leaders to laggards and then to the 1 peso name. So it's not a dollar name, it's 1 peso names, it's 50-cent names, it's 35-cent names, etc. So you could see that that's clearly what's happening in your Vitarich, that's clearly what's happening in your Vulcan. So the market is essentially voyeuring to the 1 peso names, to the 1.3 names, 1.2 names, etc. So you could see that happening. Take note that your biggest winners, nothing is actually in the it's mostly in the 5 peso below. It's not even 5 peso. It's more in the 1 peso below zone, right? So you could see that it's really just a lot of Philippines call this the basura sector or the penny stock sector. No, it's not necessarily that they're basura. It's just a term. Okay, don't think too much about the terms. So yeah, so as you could see, all of your top gainers are your riskiest, or what we would call the micro caps of the Philippines. Take a look at the worst losers. Your worst losers, you've got your AR after rising from 1 cent to 3 cent. It's not even 1 cent, right? It's 001 to 003. Now it's 0028. So these are actually very, very small decimal points already. So you could see that when it's super duper small decimals, these are actually the last leg of a good run, of a good move. Your Megawide is down big today, 4%. There's news that Megawide actually got revoked and they are trying to do a reconsideration in light of that NAIA proposal that that was revoked by the government, right? Originally, they got a proponent status. However, recently the market is M-wide actually is being contested because of the foreign control, right? It was news like it's not about the financing anymore. It's about their GMR. The GMR is said to be kasi I have it in the news daily. In the news here, Megawide. Anyway, let's just get from this, from their PSE disclosures. The recent news on Megawide was related to the government revoking their NAIA revoke 1 day ago. So let's read this. Edge. So initially, it was all about the financial capability. So MWide was doing a preferred share offering. Right now, it's about the foreign ownership naman. December 15, 2020, Megawide says there's no word yet on the reported loss of operating status for NAIA rehab bid. We write with respect to this GMA News article entitled Megawide says no word yet on reported loss of OPS status for NAIA rehab bid. Megawide has reportedly lost the original proponent status for the bid to rehabilitate the NAIA, but the company on Monday said it hasn't received confirmation from the government. Megawide Managing Director Manuel Louis Ferrer said that the company is awaiting feedback from the NEDA on its bid to take over the country's main gateway. Yung balita po sa amin, mabilis rin naman nila ni-revoke yung OPS namin, pero hinihintay rin namin yung formal. Bali-balita lang po yan, Ferrer said in an interview on GMA Super Radio DZBB. Despite the supposed revocation of the OPS, the company is still hoping to push through with the project and is only waiting for the go-ahead to proceed. We wish to clarify that Megawide Construction still has the original proponent status for the NAIA rehab project, and we confirm that Megawide has not received any formal notification from the Manila International Airport Authority or the NEDA that its OPS for the NAIA has been revoked. Meanwhile, what we hear circulating in the media are merely hearsay. That the OPS of Megawide for the NAIA rehab has been revoked by MIAA, not by NEDA ICC. This being said, as far as Megawide is concerned, we reiterate that it is still having the OPS. So it's actually, guys, very what's happening is noise. And noise creates resistances. So you're actually seeing that this drop of about 4% on Megawide from 200 with a 200 million value traded is getting a lot of pent-up sellers. So you could see that this 1050 sellers are willing to sell down at 8.70. That is a resistance for now. What you're seeing is, all right, in the next couple of months, as long as Megawide is having a battle with people on whether they are still the NAIA project bidder or not, and you could see that has been happening for quite a while now. While the index was going up, Megawide has been falling down. Seeing that weakness tells you that it has resistances, meaning if you're buying at 8.7, you only have a reward of 9 pesos, 10 pesos. So you cannot dream of about 12, 13, 14 yet. At the same time, when you're buying at 8.7, how low can it go? Can it really go to $8 or can it go to 7.50? Well, in my view, if you're bullish on Megawide, because Megawide is not only just serving the government on the NAIA bid, right? they have the original proponent status, it could get taken away, which is a big hit on their remaining revenues, given that 50% of Megawide Construction's revenues are government contracts, right? I think that what's going to happen is the bad news will persist for months and months, and therefore most of these selling are related to a company specific news. And it's really, because this is not the first, right? Last couple of weeks, Megawide was already hounded about the GMR foreign ownership. So these kinds of things, it's noise, but then these are dark clouds that you have to surpass after maybe 6 months, after 12 months, after 3 months. So all of this selling has to do with the short term. Long term wise, will Megawide go up? I think that if your cost is really at 7, 7.5, I'm not sure if it will go down there, but you could see that this weakness can be taken advantage of if you have cash. However, in the short term, will you make money? I guess in the short term, you could really clearly see that your money can only afford to have a resistance at 9 and 10. I mean, your limited upside is really the problem here. So most people, if they see that it's limited upside anyway, they don't bother anymore. Kasi you can make about 50%, 100% elsewhere. So some people don't want to bother with that. Okay, so that's one of your worst losers, 200 million on the downside, Megawide. Vista Land, 515 to 501. Now, this might be interesting for some people who want to buy some laggards. And Telephone, 323, 1330. Now, take note that Telephone is not a laggard. It's just that as a sector per se, Telephone is not expected to be very strong, but neither is it expected to be very weak. And therefore, actually, these might actually present opportunities to people who just want to park their money, maybe 6 months, 12 months, get those dividends. Take note that PLDT from about 1405 is not expected to go down to 1,000 pesos anyway. So if it's at 1330, you might as well see that in the last 6 months or so, you don't get a double of your money, but you actually make maybe 10, 20%. Why do you make 10 to 20% on a PLDT? Number one, your broadband continues to go strong, and therefore this company, PLDT, has been paying around 36 pesos semi-annually, meaning for 70 pesos, those people who got in at 1,000 are always collecting their 7% dividend yield. Take note that we opined actually when Philinvest, remember when we were saying that before the dividends came out for November 11, we were saying that, you know, Philinvest trading at 97 cents below was actually giving a huge opportunity to get 7% yield, 6-7% yield plus the upside, which is something in the realm of 50%, no? So because at 97, it could realistically go to 1.5, even if it takes you about a year, 2 years, 3 years. And you can actually recheck that. Fly, stable, awesome, 10x. Okay, so should we invest in Fly 1 month ago? Should we invest in Fly? The answer is, of course, that you already know that the investment has yielded at least a 20% move, even if it was a month. Similarly, Double Dragon, even if you have just started at about 15 last week, and it probably made you wait around a month, but still, diba? Okay, it came out. So what's happening really is that both DD and DMW, which were really just laggards, you could see naman diba? We were saying that they were laggards, PHA MRC rising on restructuring, that was November 19. You are seeing, guys, that the market has really just, looked for opportunities to make more money rather than just parking it in the index. Index-wise, diba, you can make money on your Meralco, your Telephone, your Globe, your Pure Gold. Those are probably going to give you 5-10%. In fact, if you go make 10-20%, even better. But the market wants to find like 50% yield. And therefore, they're looking at very exotic names already, penny stock names, which we don't really cover a lot. So it should also signify to you that when the market is voyeuring to these very exotic triple, third liner, fourth liner, you are seeing that the market finds that buying video at 115 is not as appetizing anymore versus buying it at 90 or 100 before. Or chasing companies like Metrobank at 50 for some people, it's not attractive for them. It doesn't mean that Meralco or that video and Metrobank aren't going to go 125 or Metrobank's not going to go 55. But take note that, after an extended move, usually what happens is they just creep. Take note what happened here. When AGI was trying to have that 1050 mark, it doesn't know if 1050 is gonna go $10 or 11. It just creeped like this. Take note what happened with all HC, right? Usually, guys, when a company is trying, it has already a few resistances. Only after a certain time, maybe another month or so, will it actually rise. So this actually took about a month for your all HC before it finally went to 350. So patience rewards people who have a very low cost. Example, take note what's happening in your maxes. After trading from about 4, a very brisk move to 8, what's happening right now? Is 8 going fast, move to 9, 10, 11, 12? It's not going down, but it's just consolidating. And that's what you could see here, right? ASCEN isn't going down, but it's consolidating. For a month, if you bought at 617, it goes 620, it goes 650, but that's it. You don't like go 9, 10, 20, right? Unlike, okay, so yes, you might actually argue market has been going to the most riskiest assets, right? So 1 peso went 117 in a single day. But similarly, take note that these are extensions after extensions after extensions. So example, MRC, will it actually go up? It could, because it's part of those third liner plays with restructuring and efforts. However, I think that what you can clearly see is that the market likes exotic names, 50-cent names, and these are names that are actually in that zone that we believe have at least 100% upside. PLC at the very least gave dividends every year, right? So even at 45 cents, 47 cents, continuous naman yan eh. PLC and FLI gave dividends continuously, right? Take note what's happening. PNB, it has been slow at 30 bucks because people who got in at 22 are selling some. But does it stop it going from 34 or 36? Not really. So I think like right now, even if you see SSI consolidate at 1.7, what's happening here? After some time, it goes to 2 bucks. After some time, it goes to 240. So what's happening is that although the market has resistance, although the market is having a hard time rising and rising, take note, what's happening in your SM? Is it going 1-2? No, it's just sleeping here at 1-1. What you're noticing is that the market is having a hard time to continue with a further sprint. And so just like a jogger who ran a marathon or, who sprinted, the market wants to just pause. And, it's healthy actually for the market to pause. Plus, people are saying, oh, Christmas time na rin. So, people are taking profits. That's really what's happening. So let's take an answer. Ma'am Nikki, PHA and AR, please. PHA and AR both belong to the very riskiest assets in the Philippines. And therefore, I think that if you're happy with your gains, profit take na yan. Whether it goes 140, 160, let the rest of the people get the money. If you have it, usually, guys, what you should do here is, let's say you put 100,000. Up ka na yan. Yung 100,000 mo, 200,000 na. Whatever it is that you're profit taking today is just money that's really not yours anymore. House money na yan. What I mean with house money is if I have 10,000 pesos that went 40,000 pesos, whether that 40,000 pesos goes 50,000 or 30,000, wala na akong pake dyan. Yung 10,000 nilabas ko na yan, probably some profits, and then just ride all the way. Whether it goes to 2 pesos, who knows? I'm not saying that it goes to pesos. All I'm saying is whether it goes to 2 pesos or 50 cents, I don't really care. And neither should you. SSI, please. Yeah, I think like SSI at 160, just consolidating, a continuation path to 2 pesos and so forth. Any insights on Sun? Last Monday, there was a disclosure, but it didn't move. Sige, let's read that disclosure, guys. Sun. So with Sun kasi, this is a casino play. So this one has, leeway to really go higher over time. Because SunTrust is where Sun City is entering, di ba? So it's a Macau-related play. Let's read that transaction. Let's read it. So the SEC confirmed that there will be an issuance of convertible bonds, 5.6 billion pesos. This is in relation to the Summit Ascent CB subscription agreement. If you are watching SunTrust, you know that SunTrust is gonna be the heart and soul of your Sun City. That would be the Resorts World Bayshore Casino. So I am gonna be telling you a little bit biased here. Ever since naman we were saying that Sun was actually an awesome, well, it's not an awesome 10x pick in the case that you'll triple, quadruple, whatever your money, right? But it looks like actually, ever since naman, looks like Sun was a beneficiary of money rotation. Ayan o, Sun, a beneficiary of money rotation, November 24, 2020. That wasn't the first. I mentioned Sun Securities tuloy. I mentioned that as early as 120, 130 areas. In my view, guys, whether it goes to 220, 250, hintayin nyo na yan. Similarly, those who have frutas at 1.3, 1.5, good, nag-break siya ng 168, good, nag-175. Pag tinulak ng 2 or 250 yan, ride it all the way. Because at the end of the day, you have free money. Let it go up and up wherever it goes. I'll tell you what, example, been looking at, I'll tell you what, some awesome 10x names. I'm gonna show to you. Buy money, buy and sleep, di ba? Oh, 1, natulog, 2 yan, matagal, 2, biglang 9. Ngayon, sell na, di ba? 987. Pero guys, 1 to 9 yan, within July to December. 10x move yan in just 6 months. So what I'm saying, guys, is when you're ahead anyway, you don't really have to sell unless, sell na pala, 9, 8, 7. Yung 1 mo, benta mo 7, masaya ka pa rin eh. So ganon. Is it okay to still ride Double Dragon? I think Double Dragon is still within that 15, 16 area. So the answer is yes. Because if you try to take a look, what's the reward versus the risk? We were opining, mukhang kaya naman mag-20 or kaya naman mag-18. So whether I'm right or wrong, I think that the risk is small, the reward is large. So, okay lang. Kung mag 50 pesos, edi swerte, di ba? But, take it one step at a time. Still okay to enter PLC. I think that the market agrees that PLC is undervalued. So, those who don't have PLC can actually consider having it. Because if you notice, these are names that still have yet to rise back to their January levels. Plus, casinos as a sector, kaya to mag-recover eh. All over the world, nag-recover yan. From the lows to the peaks, some casinos worldwide kasi are doing sports betting. And so, sports betting is a huge secular trend. Kailangan lang matap ng Philippine casinos yung mga online sports betting. Sa US kasi, ang mga malakas dyan, DraftKings, FanDuel. So I think like a way for Filipinos and America, copy the American way, copy the way that you could bet. Ito, kaya naman Chinese people. Let them bet sports betting online. Kaboom yung mga ganyan. So I think like just wait. Yan. Is it still okay to enter Fero? Actually, we never covered Fero. What's happening to that name? I don't know. Hindi ko naman kinover. What's Fero? Are we talking about this? Fero? Don't know eh. Fero Nux. Hindi to yung FNI. Kasi FNI yung alam namin na pinag-uusapan namin. Fero Nickel. Eto hindi ko alam. Ano nga ba to? What does this do? Ewan, parang tingnan mo. Absent, no volume, tapos biglang may volume. May disclosure ba to? Kung walang disclosure, ewan ko rin. I guess the answer is I don't know. Can I sell ASEN on record date, then use the proceeds to buy at SRO price? So some people actually, what they do is, di ba nga, let's say you bought at 2, 3 pesos. Nasa 6 pesos siya ngayon. Now, magbabayad ka ng 30,000 pesos ulit. Either magbenta ka ng 30,000 pesos worth, kasi you can, for every 10,000 shares of ASEN, you can buy 9,000 shares of ASEN at 235. So you have to come up with money, right? So technically, may free money naman binigay sa yung ASEN eh. Benta mo sa 6, kung wala kang pera, use that proceeds, half lang naman eh. You sell half and then you have that option to buy your ASEN shares. Labas mo yung pera. Or, so yun, the double up mo lang yung shares mo for ASEN. I don't know why you like to buy Fero. So I guess the answer is I don't know. What about THR? With their additional 1.7 billion shares listed. Typically, guys, when you have an offering, like in the case of THR, is like a casino-related play that Dennis Uy is doing in Cebu, Mactan. We said that before. So with PHR, I'd say that the answer here is that at 320, nagko-consolidate yan. Pansinin mo, hindi ka maka-break ng 320, umaangat ng 360. It's consolidating, similar to what happened to dito. Nung nag-hit ng 7, kahit nag-770 yan, hirap siya 710, nag-8 siya pero hirap na hirap. When a current price, like in terms of PHR, hirap na siya sa 320, nagko-conso yan. It doesn't mean that 320 tapos na. It just means that mahirap mag 350, mahirap mag $4, maybe it needs to consolidate. I don't know if it's gonna go up, pero hintayin niya lang. Pero cold storage shipping ata, kaya play. Tingnan natin. Disclosure. Basahin natin. Pero Nooks. Disclosure. So sa Philippines, may mga tao na nag-change ng businesses. In this case, they want to change their business. So si Fa, gusto niya mag-business ng SquidPay. Yung MRC, gusto niya mag-business ng solar. Yung itong Pero, anong gusto niyang gawin? Wala naman dito. Change in stock transfer. Basahin natin. Pero, Nooks. News. So I think like people are excited about companies that change their business model. Pero cold storage, saan? In the news, Cosicien opens the Philippines' first fully automated cold storage facility July 6, 2020. Mike Cosicien opens the Philippines' first February 2020. So this is more a bet on Mike Cosiquien's change in business model. So what he's doing is, I want to have my business to be in the cold storage facility 10 months ago. A unit of ISOC, business magnate Michael Cosiquien opens the door to its first fully automated cold storage facility in Bagumbayan, Taguig City. This multi-billion peso warehouse stands at 14-story stall, capacity of 20,000 pallets, uses to automate moving, storing products, addressing the demand for the cold chain logistics service in the Philippines. To also transport and store goods safely while maintaining their quality and freshness. Okay. So secular trend naman yata ang cold storage facilities, no? So logistics for our large-scale farmers, fisher folks, livestock, poultry growers. The company is setting aside some money, all right. So 10 months ago, the company was trying to reinvent their company business to become a cold storage facility. So you'll notice that in the last 5 years, teka lang pero backdoor play. In the last 5 years, from 2 pesos to 5 pesos, it hasn't broken above 5 pesos in the last 5 years. Tama ba? Tingnan natin yung last 20 years. Walang volume, guys, pero nagbe-breakout ng all-time high and they want to do a they want to reinvent their business. Whether the market is gonna really agree with that, most likely they will need some money. Usually, when a company will build a facility, etc., kailangan ng pera yan. So, you won't look at the revenues. What you'll actually take a look at is the news on what the company wants to do. Are they raising money? Kasi, ingat lang, mamaya nag-raise ng money 2 pesos. Example, like the difference between PHR and this Fero. PHR kasi guys, you already know, they raise money at 168. Eto, paano kung nag-raise sa 2 pesos? Pwede rin man mag-raise sa 10 pesos. So I don't know, diba? If you don't know, don't bother kasi you don't know eh. You know that they want to do a warehouse cold storage facility for the last 10 months. What you don't know is what price. Diba? So, if you don't know, kahit na umangat pa to ng 500%, yung 5 nag-25, I think that if you're not confident with what you're buying, wag na lang. Iba na lang. Para sa iba na lang siguro yung perang yan. Hindi mo talaga, I'll tell you what, listen to my US recommendations. Pag binili namin yun, kaya namin tulugan yun eh. Kasi alam namin kung saan papunta, high probability eh. For this, hindi high probability. You don't know what's gonna happen. All you know is, okay, Fero today, they have resistance at 6, they've got resistance at 8, they've probably got support at 3 and 2, right? So alam mo yan na, okay, talagang sinusuportahan tong 2 for the last 7 years ago. 2, 240, 240. For the last 7 years, laging supportado yung 240. At 480, double your money. Is 480 gonna go 960? Posible. Guys, hindi ko sinasabing hindi imposible yung umangat to. Pero hindi ko lang talaga alam. So, I don't know. The answer is I just don't know. Okay. Cold storage for COVID vaccine, play yan. Pero, yun nga guys. Ewan ko sa inyo, hindi ako mahilig sa mga COVID vaccine plays kasi talaga wala. Feel ko like, kung gusto nyo maglagay ng 1 million pesos nyo, Tokopedia, ito, B-Town. Oh, we made a buy call 11, ito 1350. Pag ito nag-20, mas sigurado pa ako kaysa yung mga vaccine play nyo Analysis on Jollibee. At 207 can go to 20 to 30. Robinson's Land can go just 22, steady lang. If you got in at 15, tingnan mo na kung mag-23, 24. Anyway, if it falls, 2019. So, I think like these vaccine plays, the Philippine market, you have to be, to make 100% right now on the current market in the Philippines, you have to either be so sure about what you're doing, and I would rather just bet on high probability bets. The problem is I don't think that the Philippine market is a high probability bet for a 100% move. So I encourage you to actually try to listen to the global market update, where I'm going to share to you some 100% 10x winners that is actually high probability than the Philippines. Thank you very much, guys. So please continue to like, subscribe the channel. Bye-bye.